What's up, y'all? This is Welcome to the Real World, Ron Prince, or you can call it Ron Prince, Welcome to the Real World, which is more of a formal heading of this show. This is my YouTube channel show. This is the second episode. I'm supposed to make an episode every 2 weeks, but for some reason I procrastinated and I got busy and I had so many plans on what I was going to do for the next show. But you know what? This episode I just went with a light-hearted topic, and the topic today for Ron Prince, Welcome to the Real World, is talking about how to get women. How to get women. And I'm going to go into my beliefs and things that I researched about women. And my goal is to not just bring awareness and entertainment to that topic or whatever topic I talk about, but it is to educate and to teach other people and young people about what I know, you know what I mean, and how the resources that are from me, you know. So, as you know, if you didn't watch the first episode, the very, very first episode, basically, this show is a platform to help people. It's to basically provide common and basic information that certain people might not have because maybe they don't have parents, maybe they didn't finish school, maybe they're just not that smart. So they need a guide. They need someone to help them to understand life and understand the rules. And before I talk about, how to get girls, I think, what you should know, since I call the show Welcome to the Real World, because I think my biggest inspiration, the movie that inspired me the most ever, was The Matrix. And the reason why I call it Welcome to the Real World is because, when Morpheus offered Neo the two pills, he said one pill is to awaken you and the other pill is to basically keep you where you were. That touched me in a way, So basically this show is inspired from The Matrix. And if you don't know what that movie is, if you're a young guy, if you're a kid, if you're a teenager, you've never seen The Matrix, basically if you watch The Matrix Part 1, Morpheus is the bald-headed guy who's talking to Neo, the white guy. I don't mean to be racist or racial or racially profiled that way, but Keanu Reeves and the African-American guy who was Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne is Morpheus, the leader of the crew in that movie, who was trying to recruit Neo because he was the one to bring it into the apocalypse that was supposed to come on Zion, the real world. He said, if you couldn't handle the real world, then, you can go back. So basically this show is I'm such a real dude. I feel like I'm like Morpheus, you know what I mean? I'm here to recruit people who are the one, to basically bring an end to ignorance, bring an end to anger, bring an end to unawareness. I'm here to bring awareness. I'm here to bring positivity. I'm here to bring entertainment. This is basically pure entertainment, really, but I'm a real dude. It's authentic entertainment. It's not totally fake. It's not a whole bunch of cinematics. It's not people writing jokes for me. This is complete authentic entertainment coming straight from here and here. But I am a very funny dude. I am very lighthearted, and some things are pure entertainment that I do. But, okay, so how to get girls, okay? Now, usually my shows are about 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes to 30 minutes. If I have a guest on the show, my show is about 30 minutes. If it's just me talking, it's about 15 minutes per show. So, and if it's longer than 30 minutes, that's because I'm probably meeting a celebrity. And I will have August Alsina on my show, August 23rd. So August Alsina will be on my show, and I'm going to be definitely taking a picture with them and everything like that. So, but let's get into the topic: how to get girls. Now, what do you think? What do you believe is how you get girls? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never had a girlfriend before. Okay, I've never had a girlfriend before. I know that's pretty shocking. I'm even going to take my glasses off, because I'm getting more personal. I've never had a girlfriend, right? And I'm sure that's probably going to make you want to be like, now, this is interesting. How are you going to tell me how to get girls if you never had girls, right? Now, you probably can tell me how to get women better than I can tell you, right? Because a lot of people, the population of this world is, what, 8 billion people? So a lot of people know how to get girls. A lot of people know how to mate. A lot of people know how to talk to the opposite sex and achieve, right? It's evidential. Look at the world. But that doesn't mean I'm not a high functioning person to understand the game. You know what I mean? I know how to get women, but I don't know how to perform how to get women. You know what I mean? I think that it's very difficult to explain. You know, I'm still learning. And I do have a mental illness, by the way. I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and like paranoia and bipolar. But I'm not crazy, okay? I don't explode and things like that. That was more so in my past. But I'm a 27-year-old man, and I've grown and I've learned, you know, and I have a religious background. So, you know what I mean? I'm not a bad person. But, basically, I kind of diagnosed myself because I kind of looked up my symptoms. I'm more so on the autistic side. They never diagnosed me with autism or like Asperger's or anything like that. You can look that up. Asperger's, you spell it like ASSB, like basically like Asperger's. I mean, I don't think that's exactly correct, but like you can type it up and it'll basically find the right word you're trying to type in. So you can type in ASSBURGERS, Asperger's, right? And then look up the symptoms of what that is, and it's basically like a minor version of not schizophrenia, but Asperger's, autism. So, but basically, I feel like I'm autistic. You know, I used to have a hard time understanding women and understanding how to connect with people in general. And I had anxiety and insecurities, and you know, I was very shy. I had anxiety, like I said, I think, and you know, I think my problem is it's not that girls didn't like me sometimes. It's just that they would like me at the wrong time. You know, it's like when I felt more discouraged, I had more women liking me than when I would have developed confidence at a certain point in time, and I would try to talk to the same girls, and they wouldn't like me. So it's like, it was kind of always like I've always kind of seen it like as mixed signals then. You know, like maybe they didn't really like me because they didn't allow me to ask them out when it came time to it. So maybe they were just giving me mixed signals, maybe, you know, da-da-da-da. But basically my credibility or my confidence in what I can teach you on how to get girls is like this. You know, I feel like I could teach you that because I have a gift for observation, I think. I have a gift for knowing. I have a gift for precision and accuracy to understand other people. But people just don't like me. It's not that I don't have game. It's not that I don't know what to do to talk to women. It's just that women won't even allow me to spit game. They won't even allow me to be myself and be accepted, you know. So now, rule number one. I'm finally getting to it without giving you the runaround or being too vague. Rule number one to getting women is self-control. That's number one. I learned that from a guy who can really teach you about women, but he sells his information. If you ever hear a lot of old hustlers, they'll tell you the game is to be sold, not told. Right? So he sells his information. The guy's name is Tariq Nasheed. He's on YouTube. You can type him in. He's a black brother with like the same brush cut and same complexion as me. His name is Tariq Nasheed. I learned that from, now a lot of the game I've learned from like reading, researching, from what other people have told me and what I've noticed on my own. Now that rule number one, he didn't say that was rule number one, I think, but basically I classified that as rule number one when I heard it from him, because to me that makes sense. Self-control is number one, and I'm going to get into that. What is self-control? Self-control is knowing how to be patient, knowing how to be respectful, and knowing how to control your emotions. You know what I mean? Of course, as a man, right? I'm going to put my glasses back on. As a man, what do we want from a woman? We want sex. Yes, that's the truth. And women, if there were any women who are listening to this, I'm sorry. I don't mean to disrespect you. I don't mean to be disrespectful or rude or, you know, a pervert or anything, but that it's not even our fault. You got to forgive us, you know. It's how we were made. You know, we're very sexual beings. We want sex. And regardless of what it seems like with you women, you guys want it too. But stereotypically, we're more stereotyped to be more aggressive about that. So we implement what we want, and we try to talk to women, and sometimes more than one, sometimes more than 10 at the same time. Floyd Mayweather, he said one is close to none, and he got about 7 to 8 girlfriends, he says, in his on speed dial. So, rule number 1, self-control, and rule number 2 is have game, right? So, having game is basically having self-control. You know what I mean? To me, what does game mean, right? You got to look it up on Google. But my own definition of game means doing things for an advantageous reason. That's all it is. People make things a little more difficult. You know, they say game is having this, having clothes, da-da-da-da. Now, yes, that is a part of the game. But all game is this. Mind over matter. You know what I mean? Matter is stuff. Matter is things. Cars, clothes. Mind is game. Knowledge, information, personality, strategy. Now, all game really is just having a business mind. That's all game is. Knowing how to plan, knowing how to budget, knowing how to, you know what I mean? Now, rule number 3 is appearance. So, rule number 1 is self-control. Rule number 2 is game. And number 3 is appearance. You would think that appearances would be number 1, but you can be a good-looking guy and still not have women. You can have women chasing you or liking you, but if you don't have game and you don't know how to be cool, I've seen guys pull it off just being good-looking and not having to do anything. They don't know how to talk to women or nothing, but they still pull women. So looks is number 1, but if you want to be a perfect Mac, you want to be a perfect player, or you want to just be a perfect gentleman, which means one woman, or you want to have more than one woman at the same time, looks is number 1, but also self-control. And then having game, knowing how to talk, knowing how to be a business-minded person. You know, looks. Now, with it looks, you don't have to be the best-looking guy, but you should always want to look your best. Like, for example, if you're a bigger guy, you want to work out, you want to lose that weight, you know, for not only for women, but for health. So the more you do right by you, the more opportunity you'll have in life to gain what you want as a person. So, of course, you want to be skinny. You want to have a nice haircut. You want to have, if you don't have a cute face, if you don't have none of that, then you want to at least make sure you got a nice body, or at least make sure your hair is cut, at least make sure you got on some nice clothes, stuff like that. You know, you notice I'm kind of dressed nice today, right? You know, boom, boom, boom. I'm kind of dressed nice today because I'm talking about women, you know, so, which is every day. I'm trying to dress nice every day, you know, my hair is cut, check me out, check me out. So, looks is number 3, and money is number 4. Having money. It's all about looks and money, you know what I mean, out here. If you want to get a woman, and it's simple as that. You know, you get online, you look for that answer. If you type in on YouTube how to get girls, or you type it on Google, they'll give you a long, dragged out explanation, covering up the real reason. Because the real reason is simple. It's all about looks and money and personality. Now, a reason why you might be sitting at home lonely and you don't have women is because you don't have the looks that girls want, and you don't have the finances that girls want or need, and you don't have the personality. That's all it is. Now, there is a cure, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Even though I've always been single, and the reason why I think I'm single too, not only I refer to my mental illness as a problem, but also I've always had an issue with weight and my looks, you know, like my teeth aren't fixed, check it out. But I'm getting ready to, I just started working out, and I'm getting ready to go get braces. So thank God I'm able to fix all of these things, you know what I mean? Because braces are not cheap. So I was able to accumulate some type of financial circumstance to get that taken care of, which could have been a lifelong thing. I'm 27, so that could have really took me till I was 40 to just have $5 grand to just spend on teeth. But I got that some kind of way, so... but we're at 14 minutes, so I think with this video, I'm going to either let it go to about 17 to 18 minutes. Sometimes I go over 15 minutes, you know, for the benediction of the video, or the ending, excuse me, or the conclusion of the video. But, you know, so this video will probably be about 18 minutes, you know, because I got to explain how to get girls. So, you know, self-control, game, looks, and money are on the list so far. And I think, you know, with having game, right, okay, with having looks, I'm going to finish that, you know, with your looks. You just want to, like, if you can't get girls, it's probably because of how you look or how you smell. Do your breath stink? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Do you brush your teeth 2-3 times a day like you're supposed to? Do you go to the dentist? Those things are important. Now, I know what throws people off the most what distracts people from the truth the most about getting girls is that we see guys who don't have all of those things or who don't follow those rules achieve, and then they achieve beautiful women. But the rules bend for certain people. You know what I mean? Like Jesus, for example, he was able to walk on water because he's God. So the rules bent. The law of physics says we can't walk on water, but for him, he could. So for some people, it's different. You know what I mean? The game is different for certain people. But the regular standard of the game is you gotta have a good look, you gotta have good finances, you gotta have a good personality, you gotta smell good, and you gotta have game. Now, I'm going to tell you how to get girls for people who don't have all of that. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, with the look, YouTube and Google is the perfect place to get all this information from on a certain level, but you got to know what to look for too. So with looks, look up what do girls like, but it's really common sense. It's women like a good physique. They don't like fat guys. They like skinny guys, or guys who have a nice physique, muscles, but you're skinny. Women like a guy with a nice haircut. That's common sense. Who doesn't like a person with good hair? A woman likes a guy who smells good, who has nice clothes, nice shoes, right? So if you don't have any money, because money is the root of everything. If you want anything, you got to have money. If you want to look good, you want to smell good, you want to have anything, you got to have money. So if you don't have any money, get a job, right? Or if you can't get a job, you can't keep a job, then that's your main problem right there to having women. You can't keep a security of finances. And that's really important too, you know what I mean? How secure is your financial situation to be able to have anything else? But then again, you might meet women who don't care too much about how much money you have, and therefore it becomes a mind over matter situation again. It's not about what you have, it's about what you got up here, who you are, what you can provide as a person. Can you provide a person comfort, enjoyment, laughs, anything like that, right? So self-control. You don't want to be the type to be too aggressive or raping women, do you? You got to have self-control. But that's not your fault if you don't have that. Sometimes your parents didn't teach you to have a certain function or a certain structure growing up, to have self-control. You know what I mean? Like an example, like if I ever had a child and my child was grabbing girls' booties, but he was 5 years old, what I would do is I would spank him. I would spank him very good, probably for a while, to really establish and hear that that's wrong. And once he understands it's wrong, he'll grow into that, knowing he's been punished, and he'll develop a fear and understanding that you don't be that aggressive towards girls, no matter how much of thirst traps women are. I don't care if the girl shook her butt in your face. I'll let you know she was wrong for that, and she did tease you. But what you need to do is, if she does that, you tell the teacher on her, and you get away from her. Because you don't want to be the one looking bad. You got to teach kids society at an early age to let them know that as men, we get hated on more for our sexual orientations, because we want to dance, we want to have sex, we want to do all of that early. And, grabbing booties and stuff like that ain't right. I used to have a problem kind of doing that, and nobody ever punished me for that, but I had to learn the hard way, because I almost got in trouble real big one time, but they let it go. But that was enough for me, So having a good look, having money, having a good hygiene, having game, and having self-control is really what it's all about. It's all about looks and money. That's it. You know what I mean? I know this is an 18 to 20 minute video about my show, Ron Prince, Welcome to the Real World. If you don't like my explanation, then take the blue pill. You know what I mean? But if you like the real world, take the red pill. You know what I'm saying? This is real stuff I'm telling y'all. How to get girls is simple, really. Even though I don't have a girlfriend, the truth is, I've always had a struggle with finances too. I get a check, I'm on disability. So, I have a secure income now, and I just started getting that check this year, which is March. So that's helped me to get women. That's helped me, you know what I mean? Because I never could keep a job. People never liked me. I always got bullied at my job and even at school and stuff too, but people never let me work, and I have a physical problem. I'm a bigger guy, so it's hard for me to wake up every day and do 8 hours on my feet. So it's hard for me to keep money going. It never was really hard to look good for me, because I can take used free clothes and make them look good. You know what I mean? Take some old shoes, wash them up real good, and look. I always can have a good look. And And I cut my own hair. I know I cut my own hair. I know how to shave, do my facial hairs. So I've always been able to have a certain look. So, but usually with look, you got to have the right finance. But if you know how to put things together without a finance, that's a gift. You know, that's, you know, from the slaves to the kings that people have learned, you know. So that's really a secret tip, you know. But, you know, if you don't have your money right, nothing else is going to work. So really, rule of number one is money too. But self-control, I would put as number one. Game, all those, because if you just depend on money and looks, even though those are number one, you know what I mean, you're never going to develop character. You're never going to develop, you know, the character on how to get women. And as long as you got the character, whenever money comes, you can jump right into getting women. You know what I mean? If you're dependent on money and all that, then, I mean, it's always going to be based off of how hard you work. You know what I mean? And you don't want that. You want it. You want a gift of being able to get women. You don't want, you know, material things to help you. You know, you want this up here to be the reason why you get women. So self-control is why I've made that number one, and game number two. And like I said, all game is having a business mind. You know, being formal, being respectful. You know, act like you at work when you're around a woman. You know, that's all you got to do. Act like you at your job when you're around women. You don't say anything sexual. You don't sexually harass them. You don't harass them. You don't do anything negative. You're totally respectful. You're totally nice and patient. Now, if a woman classifies you as a good guy or too nice, then something's wrong with her, okay? Nothing is wrong with you. You know, you did everything right. You was respectful. You didn't really use curse words around her. You didn't talk about anything negative. You didn't offer her anything she didn't want. You was totally a gentleman. You was totally respectful, and that's the key. Is being a total gentleman. No matter how people have tried to train people backwards to make you think that you got to be a bad boy, make you think that you got to be a bad person, you got to have a jail record to get women, you got to be a thug. That's not true. You know what I mean? Yes, they do get women and they do get beautiful women, but look at the women they have. Look at the lifestyle they get. You know, it's not true. You know, even rappers, they have to be business minded. You know, they have to know how to sign contracts. They have to have lawyers. They have to know how to budget. They have to have financial advisors. You know, it's a lot that goes in. They got to show up to meetings. They got to show up to work. They got to show up to tour. They're not real thugs. You know, they're going to work. You know what I mean? The real thugs are locked up. Yes, they get to get married in jail because people want me to thug so bad. But it's like, yeah, that's the distraction. You know, a lot of thugs do get to succeed. But the true key to getting women is being a nerd, is being a square. You know, doing your homework, going to school, playing sports, going to college. Because if you're not a smart guy, how are you going to make money? How are you going to get a job? You know what I mean? And usually when you become an adult, women go for guys with a good job. You know, somebody who can hold down a job. And usually guys like that be walking away with 2 or 3 women. You know, one main chick and 2 side chicks. So it's all about your money. It's all about your hustle. It's all about being a business-minded person. It's all about game. And it's all about self-control. That's really what it's all about. And then the money and all that, everything else will come. So, if you didn't hear anything else I said, just remember the rules. It's all about following the rules. That's what it's all about in life. Everywhere you go, whether you go to school, you go to church, you're at home. It's all about following the rules. And try to never break them. You know what I mean? Why break the rules? Why? You know what I mean? Is it because that girl's making you feel like she wants a bad boy? Well, you tell her to fuck off. Because you got to follow the rules if you want to succeed. So it's all about following the rules. Just remember that. So rule number 1, self-control. Rule number 2, game. Rule number 3 is looks. Rule number 4 is money. And what was rule number 5? Money, looks. Basically, rule number 5 is hygiene. You know what I mean? And things like that. You know, being smart and respectful. All right, everybody. Welcome to the real world. It's your boy Ron Prince. Holla at your boy.